the $4 trillion stock market crash that's shaking Wall Street to its core. Yes, you heard that right. $4 trillion wiped out since February 19th, just 1 month ago. This is the fastest market collapse we've seen in modern history. The Dow Jones has plummeted over 900 points, while the Nasdaq has fallen by a staggering 4%. But what's really causing this financial bloodbath? It's a perfect storm of global trade wars, inflation fears, and shifting monetary policy. The Biden administration's recent tariff policies have sent shockwaves through international markets. Just last week, they imposed massive new tariffs on China, Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. And these countries aren't taking it lying down. Canada has already retaliated with a 25% tariff on $55 billion worth of American goods. The Ontario government even canceled major contracts with American tech companies, including Starlink. Meanwhile, the European Union has announced countermeasures totaling 26 billion euros, strategically targeting industries in Republican-led states. This trade war is creating a ripple effect throughout the economy. Companies can't plan for the future when tariff policies change weekly. Delta Airlines has already warned investors about lower profits as business and consumer travel spending drops. Major retailers like Kohl's and Dick's Sporting Goods are reporting alarming slowdowns in consumer spending. Even the mighty tech sector is bleeding out. Tesla stock has crashed over 50% since December. Nvidia, once the darling of AI investors, is now considered speculative, according to CNBC's Jim Cramer. The magnificent 7 stocks that drove market gains for 2 years are no longer reliable safe havens. Inflation is making everything worse. When businesses face higher costs from tariffs, they pass those expenses to consumers. Food, fuel, and housing prices are skyrocketing while wages remain stagnant. This is crushing consumer confidence and forcing households to cut back on spending. The Federal Reserve is in a precarious position. If they raise interest rates to fight inflation, they risk deepening the market crash. If they don't, inflation could spiral further out of control. They're taking a wait-and-see approach, but markets hate uncertainty. Some analysts are drawing disturbing parallels to the flash crashes of 1962 and 1987, warning that investor panic could trigger further instability. The housing market is also showing cracks as rising mortgage rates and inflated home prices make ownership increasingly unaffordable. The international response has been swift and severe. Beyond tariffs, China has increased its defense budget by 7.2%, signaling a strategic pivot away from economic cooperation with the U.S. The United Kingdom is considering its own counter tariffs, potentially isolating America further in global trade. For everyday Americans, this isn't just numbers on a screen. Retirement accounts are evaporating. The cost of groceries, gas, and housing continues to climb while job security becomes increasingly uncertain. Consumer confidence is plummeting as financial anxiety spreads. The administration faces mounting criticism for its economic management. When they took office, unemployment was at historic lows, wages were rising, and markets were stable. Now, their trade policies have introduced chaos into previously functional relationships. The question remains, will policymakers change course before more damage is done? Can diplomatic negotiations replace escalating tariff wars? Will the Federal Reserve find the right balance between fighting inflation and preventing a deeper market crash? As financial markets adjust to these new realities, businesses, investors, and households are watching closely. The decisions made in Washington over the coming weeks will determine whether this $4 trillion crash is just the beginning of a longer economic crisis, or if stability can be restored. One thing is certain. In a globally connected economy, trade wars have no winners, only losers. And right now, American investors and consumers are losing trillions.